sounds like that you did have some missing time then, but it sounds also to me that it is not as your typical missing time that you hear about, as it was not a traumatic experience for you, and you did have recall of it.
Right.
And
right.
you went
to find out more about it, more answers. And once went to the psychotherapist, and he said, I believe you 100%. He said, I believe you. This you couldn't make up.
Right.
And I worked with him for about a year, just trying to find out, you know, am I crazy? Am I not crazy? You know, am I dreaming this all up? And he said, absolutely not. And the experiences have been going on since then.
And do you feel that this initial contact that you had with them will serve some purpose to you in the future? That you'll have some future contact with them, or you have ongoing contact?
Not with them, but later I was introduced to another group of aliens, and that was very, very shocking to me, because well, this is how it happened. One night I went to bed and I couldn't sleep. I just could not sleep. I was restless, and I went out on the back porch. It was summertime. Went out on the back porch, and it felt like somebody was watching me. The hair in the back of my neck went up, and I felt a cold chill. So I went back in the house, and I got a blanket out of the closet and laid down on the couch. And I couldn't have been laying down more than 5 minutes, and all of a sudden the room was full with such bright light that even with my eyes closed I could see the brightness in the room. It was kind of like laying on the beach in the middle of summer, and you got your eyes closed and you're looking up and you can actually see the sunlight. And 3 beings came in, and I call them light beings because I really couldn't see anything because they were so bright. All I saw was the shadow of the light around them. And they asked me to go with them, and I did. And the strange part of that was 2 were in front of me, 1 was behind me, and we went through the front door. And I am just amazed. How could you possibly go through a solid object? How could you possibly do that? And we live along one of the major highways in Wisconsin, Highway 41. We are on the frontage road, and there's a big ditch alongside the highway on the other side, and there was a craft there. And I'm looking and I'm thinking, you're right alongside the highway, all these cars are going by, why aren't they stopping? Why aren't they seeing what I'm seeing? And the message came in my head, we have a force field up. If we don't want them to see, we put it up and they can't see. And so I went in the ship, and they took me to another ship, a bigger one. And that's the one that I have the most contact with now. They call it the Ship of Peace. It's about the size of Chicago. And they took me on board their ship, and as we were going, I realized, wait a minute now, they're not light beings anymore. I can actually see what they look like. And they looked like military personnel because they were so clean cut. They had short haircuts. They weren't long hair or anything. They had short haircuts, and they had crisp uniforms on. And we went up to this large ship. I mean, it was so large, I was amazed that anything that large could sit in the air. And they went in. We went in the ship up through the bottom, and we docked. And we got out, and they said, you go through that door there. And somebody was sitting there at a desk, and they just motioned me through. Like, well, how come I'm going through? They're stopping everybody else, but they motioned me to go through. Okay, they must be expecting me. So anyhow, as I went through, I was amazed at the inside of the ship because there was no lighting. Like we have light fixtures. The light seemed to emanate from the ceiling and the walls. And it was very bright and cheerful, and they took me down a long hallway. We went on a lift. It was circular in the back, and the door went into the walls in the front. So we went on this lift, and they invited me, you know, come on. So I went on the lift, and we went upstairs, went into a room, and they said, there's someone in the next room that wants to meet you. And I really didn't know if I wanted to go, because deep down in my heart, I felt that whatever was in that room would change my life. Not for the worse, but I knew my life would be changed. Just this. So I went to this room, and I saw this being, and he's over 7 feet tall. He kind of looks like Big Bird, but he's blue, and he has like down on his body, kind of like an eagle's head, talons on the end of his fingers, long body, no waist, arms were quite long compared to us as humans, and his legs were very thin, and he had round pods for feet. And I thought, wow. Only thing I've heard about is these beautiful blonde-haired, blue-eyed aliens, and here's this. But you could almost feel the love and the compassion coming off from him. His eyes were just beautiful, just gorgeous. You could lose yourself in them. And he put his arms out to me. And I thought, well, I'm here, I might just well go all the way. So I went over and I got a hug from him, and it was just like going home. It was just like I knew him my whole life. And he just hugged me and gave me the most wonderful hug, and he said, you were invited here because you have something to learn. And that is that we all don't look alike. It depends upon what planet that you're born on. Not everyone breathes oxygen. And we all look different because of the atmosphere that we have and that type of thing. So he took me into another room, and there was a bunch of beings milling around. There was 4 tables, and there was 4 seats at every table. And at one end of the room was a large desk. And I knew that's where this large being was. That was his spot. And they were just all milling around and talking, and I realized that, yes, they look different, but they're very much like us. They were laughing. They must have been telling each other jokes, but not telepathic, and that seemed to be the way they were speaking. And I feel I could catch a few things in my head, but it was kind of difficult. I can only say that if you go to Star Wars and you go to the barroom scene, that's how different they look from each other. I mean, there was little short people, and there was people with brown robes on, where I actually couldn't see their face because the robe was kind of hiding it. And I asked, you know, why are these people meeting here? And I was told, well, this is a ship where many countries, many planets come to, and we discuss things for the universes, and we try to help each other. When somebody is troubled, we try to go there and help them. And it was really, really hard for me to not stare at some of these beings, because, you know, it's different. It's very different. And, you know, but I felt so much at home. I felt like I had finally been home.
And none of them threatened you in any way. It was like you were one of them.
Definitely, you know, they just made me feel so much at home. They never did anything that would make me fearful.